Hi, this is Mike, and we're looking at Bitcoin. Okay, so finally I'm able to post again after obviously not being able to post since my last update when things start to go a bit haywire. So in the analysis, obviously the view has changed as per my notes and comments that I put into those previous ideas. So this is what I believe is the most probable thing that's happening right now in terms of the pattern. So the idea that the move from the highs is a zigzag is no longer applicable. It's still considered a five-wave move now, and yeah. So the reason to explain that is that a wave occurred at there because this cannot be anything other than a zigzag, and then once again, this cannot be anything other than something to do with wave B. So in terms of wave B, we've seen a five-wave move for wave A of wave B. So this really kind of explains that this zigzag is expanding to the downside, right? So what happened after that is that zigzag that I thought was a D is simply put another A, right? So the zigzag within the zigzag correction is expanding, which is making this whole thing lean lower and lower to the downside. Okay, so at the lows here, this whole pattern here wasn't a one, instead it was a B, right? And this is where things get interesting because I'm starting to see this pattern in a couple of the charts now. If you go down to the lows, right, this is how I see this pattern now, right? This is why when people say, oh, did you catch the December low? It's like, yeah, it's not that easy, buddy, right? If you see any clowns in the comments, just ignore them. Right now, if they didn't short when I told them to short, they're probably in pain. So just leave them alone. They're grumpy, right? Now, this move here, I have a strong feeling this was a C. Okay, this move is separate than what came after, right? And it's very interesting how this pattern unfolded at the highs. I'll explain what I believe this crazy thing was in the end in a moment. So we had a C and then we had a D. So yes, that is a very weird looking D. It is. I think it's an expanded zigzag, right? And the thing is, even if I didn't see it as a D and I counted this as a one, two, three, four, five, I'd still have to look at that pattern as an A. So it must be expanded zigzag, right? So it's something that I never would have picked up unless something made me look in a different place. And this is part of the reason why these moves have been difficult. Okay, now picture this. This last move is wave E from this low, not this low here. Now, this is wave one. Okay, remember that move that we had last night that finished off or topped this off, in my opinion, topped it. Well, that was the same length as this roughly. See, I've put it up here with a little green line. Same length. So what happened here is you got a wave two, three, and then this what came after that was expanded wave four correction. Now, this is the part that really weirded me out last night because I was trying to fall asleep. I was dead tired, right? I had to get up when I heard a alert, and this stunned me because it broke the high, and I was a bit stunned because I was like half asleep, and it broke the high, and then I'm like, wait a minute, that ended up being a five-wave move that I was looking at the lows. So what could explain that pattern being there? And this is the explanation, right? We had one, two, three, right? And right here we had an A, B, C, and then this whole thing is a D. This whole thing is a massive D wave. So essentially, yesterday or the day before, whatever, I was trading the C wave of wave D. That's what I was trading. That is crazy. That is so crazy, right? Because it doesn't matter. It's all fractal. So the fractal pattern would have presented itself regardless, right? Because here you have 5-wave move, and here you have 5-wave move, right? So either way, it's still a zigzag pattern. Okay, not to the highs though, just to this area here, right? And then the E wave was that move that I was looking at in my little small degree wave observation videos that I was making. And it's funny because in my half asleep state, I realized that, and I was able to quickly come to some quick determination because whilst this price was still at the highs, I had to figure out whether or not I wanted to maintain my short position because I had my stop just above it. It was just at the point where I didn't get stopped out. It was some kind of miracle. And then I left it on. I'm like, what is going on here? So basically, I didn't even have to do anything, right? And it turned out to be a good move because of what I'm seeing now. So the D went all the way up to the highs, and I'll show you this because it's fascinating to me, right? It's fascinating. All the way up here, the D, right? And then you had the whole one, you know how I was doing the one, two, 1, 2, wave three, and then I noticed it get weaker. But then I had to go to sleep because it was really late here. I was like, it was really late, right? I'm in Australia. And then I realized, without obviously labeling it, I just had to go do all the other analysis. I realized that what I was looking at was a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. That was a wave E. And I thought, what on earth is going on here? Why is that a wave E? And then and then it connected. I'm like, right, that's wave 5. Wave 5 was tiny because wave 1 was small at the lows. You get it? So I said, I put out the comment because I wasn't able to publish anything. I said, I'm staying short. I'm keeping my short position on, right? And then I passed out. I went to sleep, passed out, woke up. There was this zigzag looking pattern. I go, yeah, that's fine. It's probably part of the continuing to move down. And it continued. Broke the previous low. I'm in amazing profit already from that high. And I think this is the start, only the beginning of a move. Sorry, the end of wave B, right? So the end of that correction is right there. The end of that correction, wave E, right? So it was a CDE pattern. The same thing I believe is happening in XLM. In the last move, which was actually smaller degree more recent, a CDE pattern emerged, right? They can only be reconciled as a CDE pattern. Absolutely amazing. So what's going on here? That means wave B is over. So we're in wave B, right? This wave B, but I'm talking about this wave B, right? It's the correction. don't The clowns don't know about it, so don't worry. They're jealous. They have no idea what's going on, right? So the clowns I just is a name for the trolls, right? It's just hilarious how they appeared right at the highs last night, and it's almost like I could have used them as an indicator to point out the real high. Amazing. It was just funny as. So now we're taking the same length as wave A and we're calculating it from right at the end of that move there, and we're targeting 10,000. It could go a tiny bit lower, but I don't want to try and pick bottoms. Instead, we're looking for round numbers here. We're looking for 10,000. All right. Now, for those people who don't believe Bitcoin can go low, just remember something. This is a B wave, right? So B wave expanding correction. B wave is expanding. So we have to see, right? We still have to see. Let me just show you this. So we have A, B unfolding. We have to see C, then we have to see D, E, and then wave C, right? So if you don't believe that Bitcoin can go this low, the only thing I can say is that it's not going to go in a straight line down. It's going to go down in stages, which is even better because we can then take profits and reshort, take profits and reshort, take profits and reshort several times until we get that low, make more profits than if it would have gone down in a straight line. And it explains what this whole move is. It's an it's part of an even bigger wave A. So the thing that I find absolutely astounding about this is that it's not going to be the end of wave 2, right? I think I have this inkling that this is going to expand to the upside. Okay, so wave B is going to expand. So I think this is going to get mega bullish, right? But first we need to see this zigzag wave A down, and I think this is going to get stupid crazy, right? But the first stage that is already part way through, right, is this massive expansion of a zigzag. So to me, it's the clowns I'm going to laugh at later when they realize how wrong they are, because it's not even the whole correction that's going to take this lower. It's just wave A. So this is hilarious for me. It's so amusing. It's funny. So hopefully you found this video interesting and informative. Thank you for